What's going on?
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding. From the words I spit, so sharp, so freezing. So cold, behold, frostbite they feeling. I could tear you apart or I could go heal them. Don't believe in fate, don't believe in ceilings. I just need a taste till my mind starts feeling. I don't pace myself, I grind on kneeling. Got lust for change, I just love the feeling. I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. Cause I'ma live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll still be winning. I live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll still be winning. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon.
And so begins the reveal. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to one of our rare live Sunday night shows here on Dead Air Full Spectrum. My name is George Lopez. With me, Mr. Ken DaCosta. And you have joined us on an opportune night because we are going to be discussing the experiences, the evidence, and some of the laughs involved with the events at the Shanley Hotel. You're a funny guy, Ken. You're a funny guy.
Now, I'm a funny guy. I'm also dumb, but we'll get to that later.
But we have an extremely privileged group of people joining us tonight that are going to be talking about this investigation that you all witnessed last week. And congratulations to you, Ken, and to Julie for putting all of this together in such a quick time. So I thank you again for all the effort because editing sucks.
Yes, it does. And a special shout out to Jake, too, who bought himself a brandy new camera and fired it up at the Shanley Hotel and got some really great footage. So we're going to share that with everybody tonight. And this should be a hell of a lot of fun. We don't promise this is not going to go off the rails at some point. But again, we're back live. So who the hell knows what we'll get ourselves into tonight? Hey, Joe.
There'll be a lot to cover for sure. I know we've got both photos and videos that we need to use to tell the story tonight of this amazing location. And we're very privileged tonight to have the team members who investigated. This is Jake and Jolene's first ever live stream, and their technology is already better than 20% of the guests we've had on in the past. Can't figure it out. It's an age thing, that's all there is to it. But certainly millennials, I would agree, Ken, are much better with technology than the Gen Xers or Gen Zs or whatever they are. I have no idea. We'll find out. Why don't you introduce who we've got on tonight, Ken? Oh, by the way, I've got to remind everybody to definitely hit that subscribe button. Also, the thumbs up for the content. Very important. We always refer to the algorithms, but it's something that is very, very important. As you guys hit that thumbs up, it lets them know that you're enjoying what you're seeing, and then it prompts the algorithm to push us out there. So if there's another story about the Shanley, another story about the paranormal, we are at the end of that video by suggestion because people are saying, you got to watch this too. So we appreciate you guys doing that. So to say the least, it helps. And the reminder bell helps also. It helps you learn about all of our upcoming content, which includes, of course, Ken's show, Extremely Strange, Cody and Satori's show. We have Well, That Was Weird on the alternate nights on Thursday with Cody and Satori. And, of course, the new show, which is Last Bites, which is a play on Last Rites. And gotten great feedback from that already, Ken. So congratulations.
Thank you. I never put together the Last Rites thing, so that's pretty good.
Why don't we bring on our guests tonight? Because we got a lot to get through.
Yeah, we might as well, right? Okay, coming to us live from Cranston, Rhode Island. They are engaged to be married, and they have a great setup where they were going to do a podcast, but they screwed up and ended up getting involved with Rise Up Paranormal. So for the first time, Jake and Jolene are here, folks.
Hi.
How are you guys?
Look at this 4K perfect setup.
4K.
And
Hardly,
they're broadcasting apparently from the moon, if you look in the background. So that gives us more of a
Really planetary.
Thank you guys.
Okay, next coming to the stage, we have another couple. They're engaged to be married too. And everybody knows them as the paranormal couple. And we got a lot to get to tonight. So I promise nothing as far as going off the rails, but because Satori's here and she brought Cody with her. Look at the face. Look at the face. Resting. No, I don't even want to go there.
No, it's my I'm going to start trouble face.
Oh gosh.
Don't you always?
Yes,
That
I do.
will be trouble. I'd expect nothing less. So next, she got a mention before because she's put a lot of this together. And I was editing right up to showtime, but that's because she went above and beyond, as she always does. We're glad to have her on in front of the camera. I love this woman to death. So let's bring in Julie DeMay. Yay.
Hi.
the backbone of
You know-
Rise Up, the epicenter of Rise Up, the core of Rise Up, Julie DeMay.
You know,
I'm the elder. It's more like it.
The elder.
I want to see you get an Academy Award because you did the shortest speech ever. She just comes on. Hi. Thanks for this. It's great. Means so much to me. I'm taking this with me. And last but certainly not least, the woman who made all this possible for us. And with gratitude, we bring her on tonight because she's going to be seeing a lot of this for the first time, too. We're bringing the owner of the Shanley. Let's Kelly.
Hi. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Kelly.
Good. Your Wi-Fi is great tonight. Okay, so where to begin tonight, George? Because my plan is really, other than a couple of setups, I want to let these people have an opportunity to talk about their own experiences there and get their perspective, because I'm just going to say the same old thing all the time. So always interested in getting together after the investigation, like how was it? What did you think? This was cool. So we get a chance to do that in front of everybody tonight. So whatever direction we want to go in, but there is, and I think you know what it is, something that I want to get to, George, that I think is going to kind of set the rest of this night up.
Yeah, and I'm wondering as to whether or not, I mean, we know the story. You told me the story. And I think it's, again, quite fascinating. Ken and I have conversations at least 3-4 times a week, probably more than Ken would want. But when we get into these discussions, a lot of the times we start looking about social media and the way social media takes things and accepts things or doesn't accept things. And in this particular case here, you know, we're getting to the point in time, as are other people that are on this screen right now, where we just don't care. It's just going to be the way of the world. It's just going to be the way of the field. But again, it is my belief that what is happening, it just mystifies all of us, as far as the abilities, the contact. Cody and Satori are very well aware of my take on it. I just like to lock them in a room for about 60 hours and bother the hell out of them. But you see these certain things come up during these events, and it's inspiring, I guess, is the word I should be using half the time. It's inspiring, the potential of what we can do. And Ken, I don't know if you want to start off with this stuff or where you want to go first, sir.
Yeah, the first thing before we get into the Shanley, because this is going to kind of lead into what happens there eventually, right? Those of you who saw the live stream toward the end, you know where we were and what Cody and Satori, the information that was coming through to them. So we'll talk about that. But this might set that up. And I'm talking about those of you tune in tonight, you get a bonus because I'm going to show you clips first of another investigation that just took place this past Friday night. And probably, I know it's the first time you've heard about it because we don't really put our business out there. You know, we're going here, we're going there. And a lot of times,
I didn't know you got this loaded up also. That's incredible.
That's Julie. That's
Julie,
that's this one.
the core.
That's what I'm here for.
Foundation.
Crisis management. Get this stuff done now.
She is the core in the apple that is rise up.
How sweet.
This is awesome, guys.
I like that's a new show.
Okay.
Okay, so we were at what we're going to call an undisclosed Masonic Lodge. We do a lot of those by the good graces of the brothers at these Masonic lodges, and it's been interesting. So Friday night, if we back up it's actually been 2 years, Cody, since we've been. It was like 2022. Really? Yeah.
No kidding.
2 years ago, we went to this lodge and someone came through who was talking about asking where his chair was. So bear with me as I kind of break this down. What they have here at this temple is very similar to like a brick walkway where you purchase a brick and they put your name on it for whatever. So this place, they do the same thing with chairs, and I guess I would call it either their common room or their cafeteria or whatever. But on the headrest on the back of the chair, there's a little plate, and you can purchase that for something like $30, and you put someone's name on it in memoriam. Okay. So about 2 years ago, this spirit, we're not going to give names, but he came through and said he wanted to know where his chair was. Apparently he had purchased one, but they hadn't done it yet. And we took it on ourselves to go up and down all over that place looking for this guy's chair. Couldn't find it. So Friday, we went in just trying to see who might be there, who has a message, you know, EVP work, cameras, the whole 9 yards. And while they are up on the, I'll call it the platform where the grand poobahs sit, I had asked him to go up there because there was a meter going off earlier. And I said, why not? Go up there. Maybe somebody's hanging out. So what happens is the same guy comes through that was looking for his chair 2 years ago. He hadn't found it yet. So I'm going to play this clip for you. And this is how that played out.
Ready? How many words? Okay, how many words? Okay, first word, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, W, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, A, B, C, D, E. Where? Next word is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, my. A, B, C, C. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, H. Chair. Where is my chair?
Oh.
Can I get your first name?
Okay, we're not going to get the names, but you'll see that recognition on Satori's face when the C comes, and the H is like, this guy with his chair again.
2 years later.
Yep.
Which is, I mean, it's hysterical, but it's a dominant presence there that's coming through. And obviously, this means something to him because he had purchased it for a deceased relative. I don't want to get into the weeds here because I know the way you people are. You'll start Googling stuff and searching. So anyway, confusion because we felt bad, obviously, because it's been 2 years. They didn't have his chair back then, but then something weird happened that they've been taking orders and our hosts have nothing to do with that at all. This is the treasurer or whoever it is that handles all of the transactions. So he didn't know if it was there, but he told us, well, you know, in the last year we made some more. So we'll let him explain.
So in 2019, we did the fundraiser for all the chairs that are downstairs.
Okay.
So it's $30, you get a chair and you get a little plate on the top. The last time you were here, we didn't have the plates yet, but we just put them on within the last year or so.
Okay.
So Mark Barlow's a Mason in Rehoboth, and he did purchase a chair for not a Mason.
Okay.
That I know of anyway.
So would the chair be here? Do you think it would be somewhere else?
It should be here. We're going to go look.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
first question is you can do that, right? For somebody who's not
Yeah, it was just
part of the nation, just a memory of.
Okay, so it could,
Chair. We don't care what the name is.
could be here.
So
it could
last time we were here, it definitely was not on a chair last time
we
because
looked.
the plaques weren't there, right?
Right. But the chairs were here, so maybe that's why.
But they said that in the last year they've done it, and it's been at least.
So it could just be, who knows, it could be sitting somewhere in storage. The plate could have, you know, could have fallen off. Yeah. It could,
John.
We'll give him back his chair.
apparently it's really important to him.
For the chair.
No, he seemed like he was fired up about it, so. Okay. Hey, last clip.
Robert, we found your chair. We found your chair for you.
Chair lifts off the ground, I'm out of here.
Yeah, you're the one wanted, get out of here.
That chair lifts off the ground.
Married for 25 years, of course I'm wanting.
Is that what it is?
He's happy. Good. That's your chair, right? Good. Good job.
Mostly.
It was just a bunch of happy noises. So it was like.
Stop that shit didn't come.
So. Where was it? It was just downstairs among you and chairs?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
man.
would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for those meddling kids.
Where's my chair? There. What are you gonna do now? That's your chair. That's awesome. Oh, well, I'm glad we found that.
That's
You have
wild.
to
A year and a
Show
half
him
in the
where he's
making.
sitting. I know.
So he's happy now.
Maybe we'll get new information now instead of where's my chair? Where's my chair? Where's my chair? So, oh, that's great.
He owes us.
That's awesome.
So is it just going into the main room where we first set up all our stuff?
It was back in the.
So
It was stacked in the back.
Oh, it was stacked in the back. Okay. Well, I guess you're gonna have to sit it out now.
Right? How does this happen? Right? Yeah. Well, that's what they want to know too.
Yeah.
Those regal chairs that you see in the hall of the Freemasons, and this is like a cafeteria chair. It's
Yeah,
not something that's dramatized. It's incredible.
Yeah. So sum total, they had Erin was there, by the way. She's just popping in, found the plaque. Yeah, Erin was there that night. That was 2 years ago. And we looked all over for it, and they did do it in the time between we left and now, and they had it locked away downstairs in a room somewhere, so it wasn't visible to anybody, and we didn't know. Those guys didn't even know it existed, and they're Masons, and pretty high up on the list to be able to, let us in and give us access. So they didn't even know that that thing existed until they left the room and went out, and they found it. So for me, and I'll wrap my part of this up, I'm happy when we can go in there and it seems like somebody gets some help. It's not just merely send a message and, because those things are wonderful. But when this guy, obviously he was in a little bit of turmoil because, and you can understand why, he purchased the chair and this was for a family member and it wasn't on display with the rest, and this bothered him. And it bothered him for 2 years that we're aware of. But they said they started it in 2019, so it's been a while. So when those kind of things happen and Cody and Satori can give that kind of information where it helps somebody, and I can recite chapter and verse of times that that's happened, it's not merely I'm okay, which is important, which is extremely important, but things like this, something's here, something's there. And so I thought that would be a good little story because we're going to be getting into more of that in a little while. So with that, whatever you guys think of Friday, if you have any impressions, send them up.
Cody, Satori, again, do you sense the validation that we all do when you guys do this, or has it just become second nature? It's just, okay, this is what we do and we expect it.
It's definitely validating to have items, I guess, come into play, because now you have physical proof that what we're doing is making sense. For example, like nobody knew about that chair. It was hidden in storage. The only person that had access to any information about that didn't even know that chair existed. So I think that's validating. But we've done this so much now that truly it's just kind of normal for us. Like we kind of detach our emotions from it, I guess.
Yeah, I guess we're more focused in the moment on just getting whatever needs to be said across. And usually once we leave the investigation, it starts to sink in a little bit, like, wow, what the heck just happened? But during the moment, it's just kind of, I guess we look at it like working, I guess, just trying to get whatever job needs to be done, and then worry about it afterwards, I guess. But you have to kind of put your emotions aside, and we've learned that because you can definitely get emotional depending on the situation that we're in, because sometimes it can get quite deep, and we're both sensitive people, so we always feel bad, and it's a good feeling to connect people with someone, but it also is it can be emotionally tolling, I think, for anybody if you're around that as much as we are. So I think we've kind of put that aside, and then we talk about it afterwards, if that makes sense.
Is it more for you guys then, in a sense, the feeling of being able to give to the people, whether they're on this side of the veil or the other side of the veil, but when you're doing these things and you don't know what you're going to get, you're spelling out these statements, these requests, these questions from the spirit, not knowing whether or not there's a way to validate. And then lo and behold, something like this comes about. It's got to be multi-level satisfaction for the both of you.
It is. It is, I think, helping people, because that's the main reason we're doing it, I think is kind of the best part of it for me.
Yeah. And I mean, Satori and I know, what we do is legitimate in every way that we put it forward. But when stuff like this happens, it's almost like, ha, you know what I mean?
We told you we weren't lying. Like that's it's one of those fun moments like that. It's like, okay, well, how do you explain a chair in storage that nobody else knew about? Like it's one of those, but it's mostly the helping people side of things. There's fun that can be had with it though. I think it can be just as fun for the spirits as it is for us, really.
Yeah. And a lot of times in these situations, we have to, because they're asking us questions like, why is this happening? How is this possible? You
Where's
can
my
hear
chair?
me. Where's my chair?
Where's my
So,
chair? Dude,
yeah.
where's my chair?
Yeah. And that obviously, meant something, to this gentleman, because he wasn't giving up. And I'm glad we went back. It's been 2 years, but he hasn't forgotten about it. So,
Yeah.
and this isn't the first time that, Spirit has led us to something like this. It's always interesting when it does happen, for sure. I mean, it always is a big rush when they lead us to, like Jory was saying, something physical. Yeah, we enjoy it for sure.
Well, it's not the first
Yeah,
time, certainly
and I
not the
mean,
last. And Ken, isn't it interesting? This is our segue towards the Shanley, because something very, very similar transpired last Sunday night, last weekend. And I don't know chronologically how you want to go through this all, the involvements of Jake and Jolene, the involvements with Julie and your wife, Dawn, and also with Kelly, the property owner, which Kelly, there's some clicking going on. If I unmute you, there's a little bit of clicking.
Yeah.
But
Lots of clicking when I'm watching you guys. So
no
I'm not
worries.
sure where it comes.
Yeah, it's those damn mountains you're surrounded by.
I lost you guys for a very, very long time, and I had to go back on. And
Hmm.
as soon as I went back on, the mics, you guys all sang garbled, but we understand. Yes.
Yeah,
That's
no,
whatever you need to do.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, Ken, why don't you take us down this rabbit hole of evidence and experiences for you guys with Rise of Paranormal?
Yeah, sure. I know for Jake and Jolene, it was their first trip to the Shanley, and it's such a well-known place. But if you don't know, it's in Napanoch, New York, about 4 hours from us, and it is in an idyllic setting, surrounded by hills, mountains, and so forth. And it really is a beautiful place, and very welcoming. You will have an outstanding stay if you decide to spend the night, which I definitely suggest and encourage you to do. And it's also a very active place. We found that out firsthand. And trust me, we're still going through some stuff, but we put together enough clips for you tonight that will give you something to kind of talk about and think about, I hope. So we'll start right from the beginning. The first thing we did is Cody and Satori had set up in the they call it the seance room, and they were just basically getting ready, looking into the camera, welcoming everybody. So if you focus kind of on the left-hand side, you'll be able to see it, and we'll ask Cody exactly what it is that we're looking at. But here's that clip.
All right, so we are in the seance room here on the first floor, and so I have myself, Satori, Julie's here, Dawn is sitting back here, and Kelly is also in the room. So the thing that went off was one of the static domes. Do we have the case down here? No, we don't.
No, we don't.
Basically, those are made by our friend Bob Christopher at Vortex Ghost Gear. And what it is basically a little pod, little round circle with a series of LED lights around the top of it, 360 degrees. and they're all different colors. And basically what this device is looking for is anomalous static fields that kind of are just roaming around the room, which shouldn't be. Static electricity likes to stick to things, right? So so having a field kind of moving around the room and then answering you, and when you ask it to move in a certain direction, that's extremely abnormal and should be not possible. But we've found time and time again that it is. So what happens is when it senses a field, a light will light up, or multiple lights in that direction, and then you can ask the energy to move around the device, and you'll see the lights, start to light up in correlation of whatever direction it's picking up this energy.
It's a good clip, but it makes us look like terrible investigators because we're focusing on something else and the activity's happening behind us and we're missing it.
Welcome to the paranormal.
Every time.
Were you guys even aware of that since then? Did you show them that clip? Because
No.
you brought it to me, and I'm like, I'll bet you don't even know what's going on. Somebody's behind you going booga 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 booga.
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't even know. I mean, that's why I set up different cameras. They were up at the camera on the live stream, and they were blocking my view of that. And I'm like, oh God, I got to look at 3 angles of the same thing in a room. And I'm just fast forwarding, like, what just went off behind them? So everybody missed it. It wasn't an audible, but I thought it was really cool. I'm like, it was almost like you guys are setting up, hey, we're ready to start. And guess someone decided to join us.
Yeah.
It was.
And I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, and keep in mind that device has like a 3-foot radius. So, and we are definitely outside of that 3-foot radius. So I think, like you said, Julie, I think they were noticing that we were starting up and coming into the room, which is very neat.
Yeah. I mean, that room has always been for visual things. We remember Annabelle like going off and,
So she came, she's here too.
Oh, yes, Annabelle. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Annabelle.
And she loved the trip.
So the next thing I'll play for you, and you guys haven't seen this yet, and I am upstairs, Jake, Jolene, and myself. We were doing that EVP session in the bordello on the other wing of the hotel. And Julie sent me a clip, and I really couldn't hear much of it, what they were hearing, but something in my mind said, hey, wait a minute. So you're going to remember this happening, but just check this out. I know downstairs they're looking for noise. If you're capable of making a noise, I would encourage you to do that.
Yeah, I think he said he was going to do a real quick thing in that room.
Are we like right above us?
What was that?
Are they right above us?
What was that noise?
I was just somebody dragging right
What
above us.
noise? Jake didn't hear it.
That was a
Sounded like real
furnace
thumping or dragging right above us.
Is somebody above us? I might have been. It sounded like.
Okay, they're walking around, so it might be them. There are some squeaky floorboards up there.
But where are they at? They're in the bordello.
Yeah, that's over there.
There's no way.
Yeah.
There's nobody above us on the second floor. They're in the bordello. That's completely different.
What do you guys remember downstairs? Because I know Jake and Jolene, we were sitting down. We were on the sofa and chairs up there when I made that request. So by the magic of the live feed, I was able to figure out that that was simultaneous to me asking to do that. So what do you guys hear downstairs?
So from what I remember, it sounded like some sort of like bang and then a dragging sound.
It was like furniture being moved is what it sounded like. Like a whole chair was just being dragged across a wooden floor is what it sounded like.
Yeah. And we didn't really know where you were at first. Because, we're on a phone and we can only see our screen. So, so we didn't know if you were above us but then you were in the bordello, right? Which was a totally separate like area.
Yeah.
Like it's not even not even near us. So, so that's really strange. So that was weird. That was weird. And what did it sound like from when you heard it? Did it sound like it was in the bordello or out in the other building there.
Guys, we didn't hear a thing, did we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't hear that.
Really?
We didn't
Not at
hear
all.
it.
I didn't know about it until Julie came on the walkie-talkie and told me about it.
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah, that was really weird.
Well, she told me about it, but that moment had passed. I just knew about it, you know. And like I say, I don't really hear on that what you guys hear, but looking it up, it was simultaneous to what you guys were doing. So a little like kind of experiment with everybody that, you know, we do from time to time. See if you can do something. Go over there and poke Satori right in the back.
No, it was. Oh my gosh. I can't even explain the sound. I looked at Julie because I was like, am I going crazy? Because it sounds like either someone's rearranging furniture or someone's getting into a fight. Like it was like really loud noises. And Julie's looking at me confirming it. So at least I wasn't the only one hearing it. It was so loud.
That's cool.
Yeah, and we had Kelly, she looked at the cameras on the second floor and she confirmed there was nobody up there. And again, we thought literally, I know where the bordello is. I wasn't thinking that. I'm thinking it has to be that group moving around and they're in the next building.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it literally sounded like somebody dragging furniture. It was the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
We have
Kelly,
a-
did you see that clip? I know you were off for a second.
No, I lost you guys completely as far as sound, so I went back out and came back in. So
Okay.
I missed it. I'll watch it later.
Yeah, no. Or you know, if you can kind of hang
Well,
around, I'll play it
you're
for
talking
you
about-
again later.
I hear you talking about furniture dragging. We get a lot of that.
Yeah,
Okay.
A lot of furniture dragging.
yeah, definitely, and with nothing out of place. So that might be residual sounds, unless you have done something out of place. If you have, then it's even cooler.
Mhm.
All right, so the next clip I want to play again, this is kind of chronologically. This is earlier in the night, and Jolene and Julie are coming from the second floor to the first floor. So I might have to play this a couple of times, but because underneath their voices, you'll hear what sounds like a young voice. And I'm just going to tell you, hey, Kathy, I'm just going to tell you what I think it is. Normally, I don't do this, and we could play that game, but I just want to kind of move on. So I'll play it a couple of times.
Shit, I'm not tracking my batteries. I don't know which ones are dead and which ones are still dead.
All right, I'm going to play that one more time, and that's also while I have graphics there.
Shit, I'm not tracking my batteries. I don't know which ones are dead and which ones are still dead.
Yeah, I heard that the second time.
Okay. So, Kelly, does that sound familiar to you on any of the recordings?
Fortunately, I'm catching like the last bit. I'm not seeing that whole thing, so I'm not sure what it was.
He's having severe
I'm
technical
only able to-
difficulties.
Okay, we're having difficulties.
Piano.
Okay, so opening it up to everybody, what do you think? Does that sound like a child or a young girl, or what does it sound like?
That's what I'm thinking, because again, me and Jolene, our voices aren't sounding like a little girl. And it's odd as I'm filming, as I tend to film everywhere, not just when we're in a session. I go up and down the stairs everywhere. And I literally, it was right before I turned my camera off. And I was, watching the video. I'm like, an ungodly amount of video to go through. I'm like, I'm ready to stop this. And I'm like, what was that? And I'm like, I know there's nobody. Kelly and Dawn are the other two women at the session. I'm like, I have no idea what that was. And again, I heard that exact same voice on another clip in another room.
Yeah. That one was a little more difficult because it's underneath voices, but sometimes that happens. And believe it or not, aspiring investigators or those who are just getting into it, eventually your ears kind of learn how to pick up things under voices. It's a learned behavior. It's not easy, believe me. The next one, it's like, because Julie has a potty mouth. It's like this woman swears like say it. So she's coming down from the bordello, and I apologize. Well, no, I'm not going to apologize for it. It's just something that's there. I tried my best to amp it up without making it sound stupid. But I would just say that there are some characters in this place, some aggressive types. Got a potential serial killer, a mob hitman. So, the regular cast of characters. So Julie's coming down, and you can listen to it. So you can put yours on that. I'll play it again. Language, Julie.
What did it say? Because I thought it said you suck. So I don't know what you heard. Obviously, wasn't that.
I didn't hear a you at all.
Oh, I just heard a "you suck" whispered right next to me. I'm like, okay.
Kind of sounds like an F-bomb.
Yeah, I'm leaning more towards that.
Yeah.
Okay. That was somebody else then.
I said, Julie has a mouth like a sailor. She really does. She's just constant F-bombs and 13-letter words, and it's just terrible.
Yeah.
As a God-fearing woman like yourself. While we I'm going to play about a 4-minute clip because we wanted to George sent me this. We wanted to bring in Alex Gaska because she was in studio with George, and actually I honestly have not heard this either. We don't really hear what's going on in the show other than listening for when we do live things, other than somebody saying I'm coming to you or something like that. So I want to hear what Alex has to say about her impressions. So let's give that.
All right, Alex, that's your first exposure to the Shanley. So you told me you took some notes and got some vibes earlier on. Do you want to express any of those, or are you getting things right now? Because you looked a little busy for a moment.
Yeah, I started to actually. As his camera was going in and out and lagging, I was like, oh, that kind of feels like some interference, because I kind of felt some people in that room with them. It's definitely going to be a busy night for them. Prior to even getting on, just now being there, I kept hearing like going in like a men's area or a men's quarters or something like that. That's what I was hearing and getting, and I kept getting a male that was following kind of around there. But prior to anything, you want me to go into what I wrote down prior to, right?
Okay, everybody in there saying yes. So take it over, Alex. What do you got for them?
So just to be clear too, I don't look up any history on any location ever. In case on the off chance that I go there, I like to pick things up and then compare what I pick up to any history. Also, there's a lot of times history won't be put online, and the owner will probably know some of the things I picked up that may not be like public. But for one, when I was picking up, it's like I walked into the door, and it felt like I could go either to the left, right, or that I could go straight in. And there was a main area, and I kept hearing music, and it sounded like live music or a piano. I kept hearing that it was a luxury building at one point. I got the name James or John or both, because I was like, oh, it feels like there were like brothers that lived there at one point, or might have like owned it at one point. I'm not sure. I got like the letter F, like an F name, and I feel like that might be a last name. It could be a first name. I was getting quite a few names.
Shanley Hotel.
Yeah, I got the letter C for a name, Abby or Abigail. Something about a possible fire in one area, not the whole thing. I don't think it got rebuilt. I kept getting like, I couldn't tell if it was like used to be like a boarding school or rooms, or if it was like an older infirmary, because I kept getting that like there were kids at one point there. I don't know if there was ever a rumor of somebody getting locked in one of those rooms, or one of those rooms is especially creepy. And it feels like it's on a lower level as I'm talking about it. That's like what I was getting. A female teacher. It looked like she was dressed like a younger nun or something, or that would have been there. I kept getting something with the 1800s. I wanted to say like 1852 to 1855, something in that time frame, 1800s. So important meetings being held there. A male spirit on the first and second floor that will follow people around or shows people around. He could have been an owner. He could have been somebody that built the place. There's also, he likes to follow women around. He's tall with a mustache. And then there were soldiers in the area too. I saw them holding like these bigger guns. I'm not good with like this stuff, but like they had some kind of gun, like a really long gun with something on the top of
Rifle,
them.
right.
Yeah,
Or
that. I was also getting that there would be like shadow figures that people see there. Again, with children, I feel like children will interact with people there. I'm not really sure what the men's quarters was that I just got to, but that's what I've gotten so far.
I think she's picking up on a lot of things that are accurate. I mean, when I know I'm doing one of these, I don't refresh on history at all either. So I don't know a ton about the place that I can have a sieve. So
yeah,
it'll be interesting to see.
Oh, Shanley says spot on.
Yes.
Okay. Kelly, I'm going to give you another try again because good time to go to you. I don't know if you saw that. No, can't hear. All right. Well, hang in there. So,
yeah, what was interesting to me, Ken, I wanted to mention too, with regards to what Alex was saying, the men's area, everything that kept coming back to me thought-wise was she was talking about the bordello part of it, which would be the men's area for sure. And what I found interesting also is both times you guys visited the Shanley, and Cody and Satori were in that main area talking to somebody, and what's the first thing that they did was say, "Welcome to the Colonial." I forget what the rest of it is, but isn't it interesting that exactly what Alex had said, that there's somebody who greets everybody that comes there. So it's almost an automatic response first and foremost by that spirit. Would you agree, Cody, Satori?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And Kelly said that that used to be the name of the building when Shanley purchased it. So yeah. So I think it would make sense that he would come forward and be greeting people, him and his wife. So absolutely.
Name's James, by the way, I think.
James. Yeah.
James, which is one of the names she picked up there too.
Yeah,
we altogether lost Kelly once again. I think she's kind of given up with no audio, and she keeps on losing her video also. So we'll just blame it on the spirits and moved up from there. But all right, Ken, I get off screen again, so the four of you are bigger on screen. So continue on, sir.
Yeah, the one thing I'll add is they do have something called the gentleman's quarters there. And the last time we were in there, Julie spent the night in there, and somebody like tried to play with the door or something in the middle of the night. Scared the hell out of her. But that, that's what they call it. They call it gentleman's quarters. So Alex, impressive. Good job. Good job. There are a lot of things that came up with that. Well, you saw Kelly's reaction live, spot on. So she would know better. So I want to, let's see what time. We got about 10 minutes here. So before we get into the next thing that I do want to talk about, I wanted to give everybody a little travelogue. First of all, Jake.
I swear I'm not stealing that camera. I promise.
It's Director Jake.
Director.
Jake looks like Harry Potter. Expecto paranormalo.
Oh man, that's a good one. I like that.
The next shot,
Bug.
we had a little trouble with the Wi-Fi because she was in a dungeon, but that's Satori during the SD session.
I look like a fly.
You do.
I'm a bug.
Jake's stealing. I look like a fly.
Now that place is kind of weird, and it's got a creep factor to it. How did you feel when you saw that? And it's like, I'm going where?
Yeah, I wasn't. It freaked me out. I felt better knowing that you guys weren't too far, but also I was kind of more worried about the spiders. Looking at that,
That's fair.
oh,
Yeah, good point. The last time we were there, Bill Forte was with us, and his camera in the middle of the night kept moving around and going left and right and everything. So yeah, it's kind of a weird area. And this is we're going to call it the morgue because that's what they call it. And if you didn't follow us, it is a place where allegedly they kept bodies during the winter because the ground was too hard. And as kind of macabre as that sounds, it's not unusual for back in those times. So be that as it may, that we're going to get into shortly. There's Annabelle over here with a string of lights. The room that she's in has a Ouija board on the floor, and underneath it is a pentagram. And very odd room. And Annabelle looks right at home there. So a couple of shots here. They're setting up for the STs. Tori didn't wear those all night. I just who might be thinking that's the case. And then I have no idea what this is.
oh my gosh, Cody!
What are you doing, Cody?
I have no idea.
Were you trying to demonstrate that she couldn't hear you, or you?
Yeah.
Maybe she couldn't see anything.
Looks like you're gonna hit me in the face. You're like
Demonstration for the live stream. I get it. I'm with you, Cody.
It really looks like there's some kind of you woke up and chose violence that day.
Yeah.
And this is the seance, and Satori, as always, the professional, taking everything seriously.
You're right.
Oh,
I am taking it seriously in that clip.
it's a nice picture.
Hey, and I want to, because this is the next picture I have, I want you guys to talk a little bit about this for everybody.
Well, that is our new book. It came out March 1st, called Archives of the Paranormal. There you go. Ken has a copy. So Satori and I have a haunted museum full of hundreds of items from around the world that have been donated to us. And for years, people have been telling us to write a book about some of the objects. One of the biggest, or one of the individuals who has been pushing us to do this for the longest time is John Zaffis, who wrote one of the forwards for the book. And so we finally did. So this book features 21 different case files from the museum. They look just like our real case files. And along with each case file is a short story to accompany each one. And then also thrown in to the book is a bunch of different tips and advice that we give our clients who contact us if they want to keep their item. We tell them different things to do around their home, in different ways they can take care of their object to coexist with it. So it's a whole combination of different things thrown into one book. So yeah, it's available on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and everywhere books are sold, major bookstores. And if you want a signed copy, the only place to get that is at an event that we're going to be coming to. We'll have them at all the events that we're scheduled to be at this year, or you can go to Satori's jewelry website, handmadebyhaws.com, and select the signed copy option, and you'll get a signed copy.
Okay, very good, very good.
Thank you.
I want to bring that back for a minute because the forward, I see John Zaffis. Who is Justin Hayes?
Oh my God, you scared me. I thought it was actually spelled
Oh, we
wrong.
had a typo.
I was like, how did we spell my dad's name wrong?
So that's one of the questions we got. How come there's two forwards? And we're like, well, we got worried. We got worried that if we only wrote one book, we wanted to include the people who wanted to write one. So,
but we just did the one book, and now people are already asking for like our dark room items in a book, and so we're like on to the next, I guess.
yeah. So huge shout out to Jay for writing one, and then John Zappis and Reverend Larry and Debbie Elward. And if you don't know who those individuals are, they have an extensive background working with John and the Warrens. I mean, they're like OG members of the Warrens team, helping assist them and stuff. And Larry's pretty well-known exorcist in the community, at least in the Northeast. So really great people to know in this if you're into this field.
Yeah, absolutely. And congratulations on the book. I thank you very much for my copy. You didn't have to do that, but I appreciate it. And the way this book's set up is remarkable. It's not quite a pop-up book. That'll be volume 2. You should have a pop-up book.
I love pop-up books.
Out of it. But it's set up like a case file, and you have to purchase it to see it. But for example, literally a case file.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you, George. And it's pretty unique the way it's set up. It's like looking through the book version of a lot of folders. So congratulations, guys, and I'm greeting the book. I forgot about the Easter eggs.
There are Easter eggs in it.
A couple little hidden things.
There's a design that only Patreon members to our museum know, like what to look for at certain sections. A lot of the names we had to change for privacy reasons, and you'll read the names to find out they're people in our lives that we gave the names to. So it's really fun, some of the Easter eggs we put in.
I play a dog catcher in the book. Absolutely no respect. George, we're going to, if everybody needs about 3 minutes or so, get a drink of water, take a break or something. We're going to go to the top of the hour and take our break. But when we come back, please don't go anywhere, because we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of the Shanley, and probably the most remarkable, interesting part of our investigation.
Yep. You guys stay with us. You're watching Dead or Live, the Dead or Full Spectrum channel. We'll be back right after these messages. Stay with us.
Welcome to Live with Cody and Satori, the paranormal couple. The show will be starting shortly. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Now please welcome the paranormal couple, Cody and Satori.
Is this our show now? What happened?
Hello.
I hit the wrong button.
Get off the screen.
In cemeteries across the world, some headstones hold more than just names and dates. They preserve cherished family recipes, etched in stone as a lasting tribute. These recipes are more than instructions for a dish. They are connections to loved ones, memories of shared meals, and a way to keep traditions alive. In this series, we'll be honoring these unique culinary legacies by bringing these recipes to life. With respect and gratitude, we'll cook the dishes exactly as they were meant to be enjoyed.
Yeah, since parting ways with KGRADB.com, we don't have sponsors or commercials, so I had to throw all of that in there as well. Even Erin said that she's in her PJs, but she'd be more than happy to do a show if needed. So
Must be
always
nice.
ready to go.
Thought you guys were skimping out on the second hour and just making.
Julie apparently is doing her taxes right now.
Yes, I
wasn't prepared.
Yeah, we have
It's
faces pop up, and you guys
Hey,
seem
you guys,
so alarmed.
you guys didn't know you were
They were
doing
like,
the rest of the show?
They were like, "Welcome to Live with Cody and Satori. The show will begin shortly." And I just looked up at Cody and went, "I'm not ready for this. What happened?"
Oh, you're already here.
You broke the fourth wall.
And in regards to the newest addition to the channel, Last Bites, it is receiving some amazing praise, and including several people who have already talked about it in our Patreon town hall, actually putting it together and cooking it. So with the exception of, I think it was Dan St. Marie, who didn't know how long the boiling time was going to be.
Dan, come on, man. Bring to a boil and then remove. Dan says, how long do you boil it? It's like when it starts bubbling here. Mary Beth, cookies I
congratulations. Yeah. And what's the next Last Bite supposed to be, Ken?
Well, coming up, we are going to do something a little bit more for get-togethers, and that is going to be a wonderful cheese and bacon dip.
Mm-hmm.
So that is going to be the next one. I cannot tell you what the third one is yet because Satori went home and made it. It was so good.
It was that good.
That was the best one.
And it was a trust the process kind of recipe.
It didn't look like it was going to come out good.
Let me tell you how good it was. It was so good.
A-hole.
Like, I was making it at home. And like my family was like, "Are you sure?" And I'm like, "Trust me." And it came out perfect when I made it by myself, which is saying something.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the signs of the apocalypse.
You're the chef.
And in the next couple of episodes, you're going to be seeing much more of Cody.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, it's a great series. Just getting started with it. Season 1, so make sure you guys do check it out right here. That's the important part of the reminder bell also, to let you know when those new episodes come out. So make sure you hit that reminder bell and a thumbs up. So, Ken, we're getting to the meat of this investigation now at the Shanley Hotel last week. And I'll leave it to the four of you once again so that symmetrically you're all filling the screen. So I'll step off.
All right, George. As promised, I'm going to kind of it's all grown up cooking and stuff. I know.
Sort of.
So as promised, I'm going to kind of sort of sit in the background a little bit because I want you to get to know Jake and Jolene, give Julie an opportunity to talk about this. But before we get into this, I think it would be cool for Jake and Jolene, being the first time there and not, one of their the third or fourth investigations that you've been on
there.
Yeah, I'd like to hear what you thought of the Shanley Hotel and what your trip there was like.
I mean, honestly, it was an awesome experience. Didn't really know what I was expecting going into it, because I like to go into these things sort of blind. No research on like what the property actually looks like. The history behind it usually comes
it
from
looks
her.
creepy. Like when you first pull up, it looks creepy, genuinely.
I think the scariest part probably for Satori was the cliffside driving in.
That was terrible. That was terrible. Yeah, no.
Scary.
You should have been with us the first time we went. Julie rented a van.
Because you know what Julie did? Julie drives like she's from New England, which is admirable in certain situations. But you're on the side of a mountain, and the only thing stopping you from going over the side of the mountain is the tiniest, most questionable little divider. And she's like, "This is beautiful," and she's like, "Right the edge."
Just around.
Historic plaques while we're like the edge of the mountains right here.
Oh my, yeah.
Oh, look, there's another one.
And the funny thing is I'm driving. The only thing I can hear is you hitting Cody in the back, because he was saying it wasn't as big a deal or something. So you were, I just heard it the whole way.
He's like, "Stop over exaggerating." I'm like, you want to see over exaggerating? Like, I was that bad. I was like almost crying.
That's amazing.
The view, I would live 1,000 lifetimes happy if I never saw that view, because I was afraid I was going to be going over the side of that view.
Well, at least it would have been a nice view for the last moment. You weren't even looking.
Good view on the way down. That's great.
Yeah, so this is how it ends, huh?
Oh,
yeah,
man.
but the experience was amazing, honestly. I mean, I tend to try not to get too excited when I go into these places, because all I want to do is just explore every little room that I can
he
find.
takes off and disappears, and you have to wrangle everyone up again.
Gosh, true.
Jolene was great up in the bordello. We were going from bedroom to bedroom to bedroom, doing an EVP thing. So that's one of the first actually the first place when you guys were with me that I wanted you to take, because they're really one of my favorite places. I think it's like really beautiful up there. The whole hotel where you're going to stay in the rooms are fantastic. Every one of them are fantastic. Can't not recommend getting a hold of Kelly, making a reservation, go in there. She embraces the idea of investigations. It's not one of those places where, you got to kind of tiptoe around, because I guarantee you, if there are other people staying there, they're staying there for the same reason you are. It's a great place to meet people and get together. Before we get into the clips, last thing, a little bit of a shout out. One of the highlights of Sunday was the barbecue down the road.
Oh,
That was good.
That was very good.
That was
that was delicious.
Wicked.
Maybe 5 minutes away is one of the great ones. I'll tell you what, we've been to a couple. One down in Fort Lauderdale, St. Augustine, and the other one here. And I'll tell you, they're pretty close, neck and neck. It's one of those places where you look. It's a big place, but you look at it and they don't have fancy lions outside. And those are the places, in the words of Satori, these are the places you want to go.
Why do you raise your voice every time you do an impression of me? Am I that loud?
Sometimes. Occasionally.
Shut up, Jake. You're off.
See? Always trying to fire me.
We're in the middle of that meal, and for no reason that I could see, Satori looks over at Jake and gives him a middle finger.
Hey, no, don't. You didn't. Hey, no.
I didn't catch that, but I 100% believe it.
You didn't give context. There was a whole thing that went on.
I didn't know.
It's
It's just like
my retaliation.
it's like, well,
I don't even remember why.
Because you know what? He's making fun of the fact that I feel like the whole time there was a he was making fun of the fact subtly that we got like the same size rack of ribs.
Oh, yeah.
And like,
You couldn't figure out how to open the tin foil on the ribs.
I did help her.
Yeah. Okay, Julie. Thanks. Is this like a roast session right now?
Yeah. No, because it was when you said you almost got the full rack. That's when you guys were arguing.
Remind everybody out there that these couples aren't married yet.
Oh man, you're
Not
stuck
yet.
with me. You're not going anywhere.
Oh,
We had Annabelle hanging out of the car, scaring little children.
Mhm.
You know, and like we've always said, we make it a point because everybody enjoys each other's company and there's no judgment and everybody can be silly and goofy. And that's just the way we roll. So, you know, we take the investigation seriously. You can see from the clips that we do. But if you're not having a good time, I don't see the point. So to me, being with friends, you know, just hanging out, you know, with nothing paranormal, just like shoving food in our face, that's like good enough for me.
Mhm.
food.
Okay, so how many cars did Annabelle make go off the road?
She
There was
witnessed our
some kids
proposal.
in a F that doll, and okay, so there's a thing. There were a couple of kids on a school bus. I think I scared the crap out of. They just like, does Annabelle stay at the hotel? Yes, she does. She has her own room and everything.
Mhm.
Hate that thing.
It's a fantastic doll.
She takes so long in the bathroom though to get, you know, that look just doesn't happen, you know.
I know the hair. I know.
Oh,
Yeah, look, she worked.
Look at this is from the car.
She's got those Joan Crawford weird looking eyebrows there.
Oh my God.
Oh, shit, she could hear me.
Oh man.
Okay. Let's go to bed.
All right. So here's the deal, right? We're on an investigation and what people saw. And I explained this to him last week. I understand. You can tell by Kelly tonight. I mean, this place is situated in the middle of the mountains. Wi-Fi and things like that are sketchy. First time we went there, not so bad. This time I know there were, you know, blurriness cameras, freezing, but never forget, and I've said this many times, there are things going on behind you and behind us that you don't see. We've always got high def or 4K cameras running and recorders, so it's not just what you see. So at some point, we were instructed to go down into the basement. And you guys, Cody and Story, you were there the night before.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't you tell everybody what the deal is with the basement? And then I want to hear what Jake and Jolene, what their impressions are when we were taking them down into this dungeon stairs. But what's the setup, why we were there, and what goes on?
The basement, I guess, has been a place that is, I guess, more creepier. A lot of people have been getting some strange things. More recently, some weird activity, and you'll see this in one of our upcoming vlogs, where they've been getting some weird information down there, which is strange. We don't give any names because for future guests that go to the Shanley Hotel, we want to see if they're able to get the same names that we got when we were filming our video with Scotty the Medium. People, mediums that have gone there have, if I remember correctly, have claimed to see like surgery happening in the basement, like if doctors coming and people, you know, fixing wounds and stuff. Of course, that morgue room, there's a room that you mentioned where they would keep bodies during the winter time. So definitely the creep factor down there is different than the rest of the hotel. And what we experienced the night before the rest of Rise Up came down was very interesting. I mean, we had a very interesting experience that I don't think was on camera.
Which one?
The one where we were doing that
Yes.
experiment with Scotty.
I think it was on Scotty's channel, but we didn't catch it.
So we definitely wanted to hit the basement again when you guys got there, just to see if that kind of continued on, to see if we got more information on top of what we had gotten the previous night. And it definitely led down a direction that we weren't expecting. That's for sure.
Yeah. Now, when you guys went down first time at the Shanley, back them up on that. What kind of a different type of atmosphere or vibe, if you want to call it, is that basement and that whole thing? Because the first time we were there, I never went in that room.
Yeah.
That was like the first time somebody said, "Oh, there's a morgue there," and I'm like, "What now?"
That's what we did too.
That was the first time for us too.
Oh, you guys were familiar with that.
No, we didn't know.
No.
Going down there, it was a pretty like eerie feeling. You can definitely tell that it was just an area that didn't feel comfortable to be in, I should say. But definitely a good time. I would say that the knocks from the method that you guys do is definitely the loudest I've ever heard it come through, the clearest I've ever heard it. It almost like echoed off the floor.
Oh yeah, especially in the morgue. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, it was different, Julie, because we've done things on concrete, and you know that's sometimes that's a challenge. If we want to replay something, because all this goes in our archives, but when we do a show, we like to present something that, you know, people can hear you not straining. But that was a different type of sound. I agree with them.
Going into the morgue was an experience, that's for sure. I'm sorry to anybody who was watching the stream while I was holding the camera. I was trying to fight off spiders above my head.
Oh, they were so bad. Like because it was like we were tall, so like all of us were taller, and where you're standing, it's not like the morgue where it's like when you first walk in, the even floor. It's when you get on that higher area. And it was just like the spiders were dropping on us. It was crazy.
See, that's why I couldn't go up there. I was like, I can't do this spider.
I felt bad. I was like swinging the camera around, and I'm like, I gotta hold it steady, but I felt things crawling on me.
All the footage from you is just gonna be like,
yeah. I swear.
Oh, you talked about going to the island of the dolls. It sounds like that's where we were.
I know.
Freaking spiders all over.
it was kind of raining spiders at that point. I'm trying to do the alphabet to figure out what we're getting, and I feel something crawling on my head, and I'm like, oh my god.
I didn't get any spider. I think they only attracted people who are scared of them. So.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm going A, B, oh my god, C, D. Like, it was so scary.
I came out with a cobweb, but that's nothing unusual. Like trying to get into places. Oh, hell no. All right, so let's get into these clips. And so this is how it all starts. Making contact, and then as they have said many, many times, once the door is open, and this is not ominous, but you don't know who's going to come through, but there was somebody who had a message for us. This is about a 3-minute clip. So this is about an item that's been encased down there. And I think we had heard about it before. Maybe we didn't. I don't know. But this is what led us to try to go find this thing.
Need your help if you're willing to point us in a direction.
Folks, just to let you know, that echo there is because when we're recording this, they wanted one camera on the ground to hear the knocks better. Okay, so what are you guys laughing at?
Nothing. Nothing. I'll tell you after the show.
Okay, cool.
I don't know what she's like.
Okay.
You said a 3-minute clip and then pulled it back fast.
I was waiting to listen to the sound, and as I'm waiting to listen, all of a sudden the camera comes back on to us, and I hear Ken talk as I'm listening really close, and so I just went really loud, and I thought
play the intro to your show again and just blow your mind. How's that? No, I wanted to let everybody know that you're going to hear an echo, and that's because we had to have a couple of different cameras going to hear this. So in case you're like, we're not standing in a canyon or anything like that. And now the rest of the show continues.
need your help if you're willing to point us in a direction. Is there anything buried around this area that we don't know about? Yeah. Okay. Can you tell me about that a little bit? A, B, C, D, E. E? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, B, E, H. A.
Behind? Me? Behind me? Back there?
There's something buried in there? Do you know what that is? A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. Dig. A, B, C, D, E. A. I'm getting caught up with the sounds, so can you help?
A, B, C, D, E,
D.
D. A, B, C, D, E, F.
E.
A, B, C, D, E.
D, E.
D.
Deed?
A, B, C.
Deep.
Deep?
It's very deep. Very deep.
What, can we just ask what it is?
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, box.
Box.
Okay.
Can you come in here?
Hi. Here comes the feedback. So, is it over here? Okay. If I walk over there, are you able to walk over there? Okay. If we walk over there, can you give us a general idea of where it is, you think? Okay. Don't laugh if we've all trying to scale this thing. Yeah.
Now,
Whoa,
my
whoa.
God,
That was me. That was my voice at the end of that.
Oh
clip.
my gosh,
I
Jake.
will. Yeah.
That was scary.
Oh my gosh. I was like, did we not
Sorry, Jesus, cheer up tonight, will you?
No, that was definitely me.
Oh my gosh.
I wanted to make a quick note here, Ken, because expect this. I'm going to play just the first 12 seconds again of that clip, and I want you to see the point that will wind up on social media where you can see Satori activating the thumping device on her leg. So you'll spot it right here. Watch.
Need your help if you're willing to point us in a direction. Is there anything buried around this area that we don't know about? Yeah. Okay. Can you?
There, right there.
I can't itch my leg anymore.
She activated the device right there.
Okay, so now I'm gonna have to do this. Like we're gonna have to take away the legs completely. I don't know how we're gonna do that. But
That's the crap that these two have to contend with on a daily. It'll show up. somewhere somebody will pick all of that crap apart. But
I swear I heard the click.
I just noticed for the first time, Ken, and then I'll get back off screen, when they went into the storage area, also called the morgue, that there's a really high lift of what looks like layers of rocks, at least 2.5 feet high. So they've got to dig below that, correct?
Yeah, I know. I had to jump up there. So it is encased in rock, and it's covered with a layer of cement. I don't know how thick that cement is, but we'll kind of move on here to the next clip, and then we'll talk a little bit about it.
Can you come in here?
Hi. Here comes the feedback. So, is it over here? Okay. If I walk over there, are you able to walk over there? Okay. If we walk over there, can you give us a general idea of where it is, you think? Okay. Don't laugh if we're all trying to scale this
Hang
thing.
on to.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Thanks, Jules.
Mm-hmm.
Tony, be careful.
All right.
Are you up here? Okay. I'm gonna point, okay? You just make a noise like a metal detector when I get close. That direction? Okay, we're gonna walk that way.
For the spiders.
Oh, there's spiders over here.
No, never. That's just.
Okay, ready? In the back?
He's gotta kill himself.
All right, we're going to the back. Oh, God, something touched my head. Something touched my head. Something touched my head.
It was just Ken.
Don't worry.
It's nice when you take back. Yeah, I like spiders.
Over there? In that corner? Kelly, they're saying that.
Giant spider attack on Satori. That's when it all happened. Right
The
there.
best part is the part where Jake comes on screen like he's in the middle of like a Nat Geo Wild, like he's on something, or like he's on one of those reality shows. He's running with the camera. It was so good, so good.
It's a wild Cody and Satori in their natural habitat.
Out in the wild. Cody and Satori. Their method. Now watch the female here as she's threatened by a spider.
Or it's like what? It's like a reality show. He's running up to the screen. Like, we gotta get this. We gotta get this.
You gotta give the audience what they want.
Yeah. So another example, Julie, couple of camera angles. You know, you've got yours. We got the one from behind. They kind of mesh together when we finally get up there. I had a little bit of a chore getting up there on my knees. Believe me, it's yeah. So there's a bit of a rise there. So where are we up to this point? We seem to have located this, and you know, your first time in there, my first time in there, all of us, really. So the next clip, another 3-minute where we kind of locate where this alleged item is buried.
It's nice when you take back. Yeah, I like spiders.
Over there? In that corner? Kelly, they're saying this corner.
Which corner?
The back right corner.
Back, front,
Is it?
in front of the wall.
Right? Yeah, I think it over there.
Yeah.
It's deep under the ground.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's way too
Mark it.
deep. Yeah.
know. I want to see what.
Is it? So here's a quick question.
How deep?
Is it up against the wall, the stone wall? It's Okay, I'm gonna point. Ready? So like where the wood is?
Is it where I was digging?
Around there.
Okay.
If you had to guess how deep it is it more than just like 2 feet? Yeah. Okay.
I wonder, Kelly, do you think that this would have been as high as it is back then? Or was this filled in at some point?
I don't know. There's a
Is-
stone
Yeah,
foundation.
it was
there.
raised.
Buried under the concrete floor?
How about this? Is it in dirt? Is it under dirt? Or does it look like it's under stone? 1 for under dirt, 2 for under stone. So there's stone under here.
And you got stone during the Estes method.
So is there stone under this? Okay, and under that.
He might be referring to concrete as stone.
We think this might be filled in at some point.
Yeah.
We're not sure though.
How big is the box? Can I ask? Do you know? If I go like this? About this big?
Okay.
Oh, okay. So
Is
it's
it
less than a
wooden?
foot.
Yeah, less than a foot. Small.
Is it wooden?
Wood? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a wood box. What's the color of the box? Is it brown? Yeah. Okay. Is it round on the top? Or is it just square? Just square? Yeah. Okay. It's just square.
What's in it?
We don't know what's in it. We don't know what's in it.
Do you know what's in it? No.
Was it? Do you remember this being buried?
No. Do you see it now? No. So,
Was it before your time in this room?
yeah.
Okay. But he knows about it.
All right, Kelly, if you ever decide to excavate that, please don't release a plague on the world. Okay. Whatever's in that box. So that's kind of why we went into the investigation Friday, to kind of give the idea spirits that are there who come in know what's going on, and sometimes they point out things that we're not aware of. So you guys want to talk a little bit about that whole thing, what you kind of were experiencing, what you kind of felt on that a little bit? Let's start with Jake and Jolene and Julie. We'll go with the J cubed here.
The tech department, that's what it is. No, that room was definitely an experience. Obviously, we already went over the spiders in there. That was not fun by any means, but just watching you guys basically become metal detectors pointing out this box.
Yeah, that was really
Yeah.
cool that you found the exact location.
For all the moments that I was paying attention to you and not the webs 2 inches to my left, I definitely was amazed by what was happening in there.
Okay, but it's not going to be like, let's say, because you know the spirit said that they heard that there was a box there.
Yeah, I was gonna
Oh,
say
yeah.
there might not even be a box there. It's like a rumor.
I heard from a friend.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So yeah, I do remember the spirit saying that either he wasn't alive yet when the box was buried, or
No, it was sometime.
he wasn't there when the
Yeah,
box was
he
buried,
wasn't
but he's
there.
heard that there was a box buried there. And I don't know. There very well could be one there. He said it was made of wood, I believe.
Yeah, and it was small. So it could, for all we know, it could be literally like a box for like some sort of utilities or something like that. If it's there. Julie, what's your perspective on everything?
I mean, I can't believe we weren't aware of this. This is my 3rd time there, and I didn't even know the room was there. But it was really creepy. There was something very odd, and it got creepier after this, as we're going to find out shortly. It was just weird. The whole basement was weird. Even on your Estes method, when you were bringing up crucifixes, and I didn't know there was a crucifix in the room. All kinds of little weird,
Handmade.
it was weird. It was weird stuff. So it was cool. It was really weird.
I had a story I came out with, and one of the first people I told that night was Erin. And this is unusual for me. When I came out of that whole thing, I had an anxiety in me, not chest pains or heaviness or anything, not paranoia, but just that sort of tension that I came out with. And I remember the first person I came out and saw was Dawn, and I just said, I feel weird. And kind of explained. It took about an hour for it to go away. And I have no idea, because you guys know I'm not that guy. I'm not that person that's, ooh, I get a feeling and everything. So for one of the few times there was something really uncomfortable about being down there. It had nothing to do with the tapping method. It had nothing to do with anything, because we've seen it dozens and dozens of times. Didn't make myself crazy and didn't really feel it until we were done. And I had jumped down and we're walking out, and it's just kind of like something came over me for about an hour. It was really weird. It was
I have
really
to say,
odd.
Ken, you were weird when you came out of the room.
Thank you.
Because what happened, I know you were preoccupied with something, because I came in to tell you what just happened. And it was like, it went right over your head. And I'm like, I knew your mind was someplace else.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, really? And it was like, okay, that makes complete sense now.
Doing a couple of breathing techniques, but like I said, it wasn't like, a medical drama or anything. It was just a feeling that, I don't know, just very, very anxious, very, very tight. I was wound up pretty good there. It took me a little while to come out of it. May have nothing to do with anything, but it was just very odd. Another clip here, which really isn't evidence, but we wanted to kind of display something. Apparently, we heard the taps go away, and this is what my wife, Dawn, was sitting outside on a chair, and this is what she heard.
Does he have a last name?
I think they just walked your way.
They just came your way.
Hello, Nate. It's glad to meet you.
Hello.
Thank you for your help.
I'm gonna break.
Break?
I'm not feeling anything.
Okay. All right, let's break.
Break. And I'm terrified that there's probably a spider.
That was interesting.
I just went up the stairs.
That's interesting.
So it may not be
Like how long ago?
there's a box over there.
Just as you were
Okay, you want to hear something really weird?
Yes.
You know how you guys were saying, Kelly, I have something interesting out here. You know how you guys were saying they walked towards us?
Yeah.
Dawn said something just walked up the stairs.
Really?
Really?
She
Are there
go-
cameras?
No.
No.
The only camera I have
We're in there with us.
I know.
Yeah. I mean, you come out of the session like that, and Julie says, you want to hear something weird? Like, it hasn't been weird up to now.
And I've never seen that kind of expression on Dawn's face.
Yeah.
She looked a little, I don't know.
Freaked out.
That just
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
I saw that on her face, like right after I said I do. She had that worried look on her face. No, I thought it was interesting that we heard the footsteps go out, and I don't know how much of it she could hear, but then, she has no dog in this fight. Dawn, it's like if somebody went up the stairs, then number one, it's interesting, and number two, it's credible. She heard something, no doubt. So anyways, so that kind of wrapped up the basement session. And again, it's one of those things where I don't know if it's help to anybody, but I mean, this idea of something being buried there, how far back does this go as far as our visits there? You guys have been there before. So this thing, I think I remember it on our first trip. We didn't think much of it. We'd never been in the morgue, but this goes back a little ways, right?
Yeah, there's been rumors that that something has been buried on the property for a while now, and I know other people, whether they're mediums or investigators or sensitive, have said that there could be something buried in the basement or just on the property. And there was another weird experience that Scotty had where they were going to dig in the basement to try looking for something. I don't know if it was a box or something else. And Scotty had gotten something, a message, and he wasn't there, and called Kelly. And he says, I just got this strange message that said, don't dig in the basement. And Kelly was like, oh my God, we were just getting ready to go dig in the basement. And so I definitely think that it is some part of the phenomena that's happening there. That that a lot of individuals get some sort of message that something is buried. I know, I believe they have gotten that there's like jewels or jewelry buried or money buried.
The spirit that we talked to wouldn't give any information because they didn't really know. But they said that whatever's there or they believe is there is before the 60s. So that's giving you a time frame that the latest it could be is like the 50s. So
yeah, I would have to imagine, I don't know, Kelly might know as far as when that slab was poured or why it's built up. Maybe there was an existing wall there before they expanded the place. I don't know. I mean, there's not sure why that's there. But interesting. I mean, not the first time that things have been found. It's just I'm just kind of curious on this one because somebody told somebody who told somebody who, and they heard it was buried there. So whoever you were contacting is probably in the same boat as us, right? Yeah, I heard something's there, but
yeah,
he was a little bit more specific about it. Like, yeah, this is where it is. So, however he came across that information.
I know.
That's got to be one of the biggest conflicts with what it is that you're doing, because you're getting two different spirits saying two different things. Dig here, you'll find this, and the other one saying don't dig. And which one has the best intentions? Don't unearth this because it's sacrilegious, as an example. Remember, again, that was at the height of Christianity. So you wonder as to whether or not one of them says don't do it and the other one does, which one has the right intentions behind it. And being almost 4 hours away, it's not like something you guys could just go check on at a moment's notice.
Yeah. No.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's one of the things. I mean, it's tough when something is buried. I mean, we've only found actually two other things that have been buried in the ground before, and we dug.
Oh no, that was a foundation.
And we dug and we ended up finding it, but the spirit was absolutely positive what it was. They told us what it was before we dug and told us, the exact location of where it was. And then we found it. But the other times that we were successful in doing that, there was, it felt more confident coming from spirits that we were talking to. Absolutely. This is here. You're going to find it. Dig.
It's kind of the funniest part too, is it's like the spirit heard it from a spirit. So it's like, I'm the guy, I heard it from another guy that heard it from another guy. There's probably a box here. So now you're like, okay, is there? But that's the hard part.
Yeah, they decided they're going to dig that thing up, and you guys go back, and he taps out psych.
Yeah, absolutely could.
Maybe.
So, but it still it begs the question again. When you guys are doing this, that you have to go on faith that the intention from the other side is genuine, that it's and also what information that they're basing it on. If it's all just on third party, then it's a risk. It certainly is a risk. Now, I don't know. Ken, have you spoken with Kelly? I know we can't communicate with her again because of the location, but was there discussion about a time frame or potential for unearthing this box?
No, I mean, Kelly just made a comment that she had gotten the information, be patient, in time. And she said, well, here it is. So maybe it's time. So, I mean, that's obviously up to her because no one can predict the kind of challenge that it is. Because Jeff made a point, it looks like a drop-down box. Might as well put this question up. Looks like a drop-down box. Could it be above you instead of below you? Without knowing the original layout of the house, Jeff, that's a rough one to answer.
There's a house. So I know he asked another question about what the roof is made of, and the hotel is above. So it's not going into just the dirt there. I believe the gift shop's above that area. So it's a wood ceiling with the joists and everything. And we also have to remember that this is her basement. Like this just isn't in the backyard somewhere. This is the basement of a functioning business that's happening. So yeah, I mean it's it's totally what she wants to do, and when the right time suits her, both I guess her decision and what fits the business, as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, structurally, there's not a problem, but dig deep. I mean, now you've got to get through the concrete slab that's on top. It could only be 2 inches just to keep things clean. But as you can see, there's stone underneath it. Spirit says there's stone. So who knows? Is it 2 feet down? They asked that question. How deep is it? And like, I don't know.
Interesting.
Under the porch. There you go. There you go, Kelly.
Porch.
So would ground penetrating radar work in there? That would be a tough one. I could tell you what I know about it. If there's stone there, there's going to be gaps in the stone. Okay, so you could get some false positives on that. Ground penetrating radar isn't cheap either. It's so would it work? Yeah, I think there'd be difficulties. There'd be challenges in that too. It's either all or nothing. We're going for it, or we're just it's fine, let it lie. So whatever happens, this is just an opportunity to say that if it should happen in the future out of curiosity or whatever, Kelly and her husband decide to do, it's
on camera, Kelly.
It's the forerunner of it. This is where it's located.
On camera, as Ken calls it, the Geraldo Rivera event.
Right.
Just make sure you're filming when you do it. We'd love to see it. I have a quick question for Jake and Jolene, not to put you on the spot.
No worries.
But
go ahead.
Have there been some moments off camera, privately, where you guys tried to duplicate Cody and Satori?
Actually,
actually,
we did one time because we tried doing an experiment to see if it would extend
on our investigation.
Yeah. So one of them was holding his shoulders and one of them was holding mine, and then we held hands, and it actually still did go for a few seconds.
Yeah, this was back when we were at the Admiral Pier Inn.
Yeah.
It was last year, I'm pretty sure.
So everyone was like, oh, you guys should toy with the idea of energies and opposing energies. So we went back to our apartment and we tried it, and
complete fail.
We got nothing.
Well, maybe you guys can do something completely different. You guys gotta try different things and see what works.
We just make all the luck happen, like with the Estes method at the
you guys are
Masonic
good.
Lodge,
You're pretty good.
Yeah.
What are you suggesting they try differently than you guys do? Jumper cables or?
I'm not sure. Maybe if they hug, something happens, or maybe if they, I don't know.
Another
Put
nice thing.
on maybe what if they both do Estes and something works and they connect with something? You know, like maybe they should try different methods and see what happens.
Maybe if you both put colanders on your head attached by a wire, that would happen. But you have to do it here so we can all see it.
Yeah.
We'll start
Do we have to
experimenting.
stand on our heads as well?
You might.
Everything's on the table.
Yeah.
I had another question here for me. Are you empathic, Ken? I don't know. Who wants to
That's a good
know?
answer.
No, I don't know. I'm empathic. I mean, I'm empathic to the degree I care about people, but
Yeah.
But
I've never seen Ken go into a place and be like, "Oh yeah, I feel creepy," or "I feel this," and so it's very rare for Ken to say something like that.
That's all.
yeah, I don't even think I told you guys. You know, I told my wife, and I just went about my business because I didn't want anybody to say, "Oh my God, Ken's possessed." You know.
Yeah, no, he didn't. The only time I've seen you kind of freaked out is when we first showed you what we could do, and that was about it. And then I heard about the time you got freaked out when you saw the spirit in Pain House.
Yeah, well, hello.
Yeah, that's like the only two times that I've known about you getting kind of shaken up about something.
I like my odds on that.
Yeah.
I got another clip because probably a good time to say we continued on for a good hour or maybe more. We were doing Estes methods and things like that. Are you going to do anything on your vlog with that, guys, Tuesday?
The Estes session, absolutely, because that was awesome. But definitely show whatever.
This Tuesday or next Tuesday?
I'm gonna aim for this Tuesday.
This Tuesday? Okay.
Yeah. So definitely show whatever clips you got either way, because it was a really cool thing.
Yeah. And I know a lot of you already do it, but there's going to be more footage of this Tuesday. You're not going to want to miss that. 7 p.m. and right there, youtube.com @Cody and Satori. So make sure, please, you check that out because they're going to have a whole different perspective on this. And we were there for it when they're over in the corner, like filming or something like that. It's like, don't walk over there. You're on set. Both do SEs, different tunes, and have written questions. Show one time to record results.
That would be
Hey,
cool.
Jeff, mind your own business. No, I'm kidding. No, they're all good suggestions. We used to do it at one time by splitting it off to two different people and seeing if they were both hearing the same thing. Sometimes they were, like anything else, hit or miss.
Yeah.
But no bad ideas here. The last clip I want to go into was one of those things that happened after we shut the live feed down. Julie and I are in a corner room that, if you remember the first trip to the Shanley, I was in there getting those tripwires we use to respond to me. And that's about the time Bill Forte came in and asked the guy in there if he ever whacked anybody in the hotel. After I had built this bond with him and we understood each other and I wasn't there to judge, and Bill, came in, wanted to know if he had killed anybody there. So Julie and I are in there and our tripwires all night, nothing. The first time you remember, like they came up as if someone was walking to us. There was nothing that dramatic. So they didn't do anything all night until here. Wait, motion like this. What went off now it's on. If that light is coming on out in the hallway there next to that doll, could you try these? Same thing. Same thing.
Thank you.
There you go. Same thing. Just different colors.
These are prettier.
Yeah. We can see them better. Because we know that that's you doing it, see? So that's kind of how it works. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. I really do. Yeah, that light out in the hallway. That's troubling. So, can I ask a favor of you that you do it again in here?
Thank you.
Okay. Very much appreciated. Thank you. Thank you. You're very kind of you. The light goes on again in the hallway. That's interesting, going back and forth like that, light out in the hallway. It's very good. It's good to talk to you. It's nice that we're able to just have a friendly conversation with you. Yeah, so that was something a little bit different. Hadn't gone off, did it on request, did it twice.
Yeah.
Everything like that. I think I had calmed down a little bit by then.
But it's funny that you showed Cody, Satori, me, and Jolene were doing the Estes method in the other room, and we had seen the tripwire go off in the hallway from where we were sitting.
Yeah, we did see that.
Yeah. And I don't think you would have seen those lights, Ken, from where you were in that room.
It went right
around the
past.
corner. So it almost like it was coming
Yeah, it
towards
was like
you.
leaving the room and going to that one.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you guys did not hear because you were occupied, but we had a motion sensor in the hallway that kept going off.
Yeah.
And I stood over there to make sure that I wasn't tripping it, and you guys were in another room. You weren't tripping it. So that was the whole lead up to, hey, if you're hanging out outside the door or something like that, you come over and touch these things, just because why not?
Yeah.
Interesting little thing. And then there were Estes method sessions that I think ranged from like really interesting to absolutely hysterical. Of course, when you got the headphones on, you don't know what's happening. The only thing I heard, and this is the God's honest truth, I heard no questions. The only thing I heard was 4 people laughing their asses off every once in a while. It was so loud in the room, I could hear that through the headphones. But other than that, a couple of interesting things. I'm not going to spoil it for everybody, but
that's okay.
Satori and Jolene are in danger. Apparently.
We are. Every Thursday I get nervous. That's what you said on Estes. You were like, wait till Thursday.
Oh yeah, wait till Thursday.
Which one?
Yeah, it was odd, but it was cool to do. So I guess that brings us to the end of that. So what's your takeaways on that? Every one of you. It was a long ride home when we discussed it, but what did you think of the investigation, the methods, the information, most importantly, that we took away from this?
Well, I thought it was really cool that there seems to be a lot of inside jokes among the spirits there. Like even Kelly saying the spirits call her lazy, and we were even getting that in our Estes method. It was like lazy. Yeah. And then, of course, the spirit calling you dumb.
4
that happened a
times in a
lot.
row.
Yeah, that's going to happen anyway. That is completely unfair, guys. And I'm talking to our audience right now. The disrespect that I get, especially from the 2 women. I'm speaking to the audience right now. The disrespect I get from those 2 women.
Oh, it was so good. It was so good. I had a great time. I think the investigation, the information was amazing. I think every time we go back to the Shanley, we find out something new. And I think that's always fun because it's not just the same activity over and over again. It's like you're creating new puzzle pieces that fit into a larger puzzle every time you go. I agree with Jolene. I think it was hilarious, like some of the inside jokes that were coming out. And now we have forever inside jokes because of the activity that was happening. So I just think all around, great location. You can tell there's a lot of personality from the spirits there. So I loved it.
Yeah, and definitely a huge shout out to Kelly for the hospitality and letting us investigate. Definitely check out the haunted Shanley Hotel.com. And there's always events going on I know Satori and I are possibly, planning on doing an event there at some point in the future. But there's always some really cool people doing events there, and they have some really cool events going on there as well. I know while we were there the day that you guys arrived, there was a tea leaf reading event happening, which I thought was really cool. I had never been to one of those things before. So they do some really cool stuff there. So the haunted Shanley hotel.com. Definitely check that out.
Yeah, we had before we left, I had told Kelly that we would love sometime in the future to come back and host an event there for her, and and just kind of bring our perspective to it, because it's kind of one of those places that I can't wish her more success in that place. And if there is something that Rise Up Paranormal could ever do to repay her for that, then all she got to do is let us know.
Yeah.
It's that kind of place beyond the spirit realm. It's just a heck of a place to have a good time, and it's a nice little town. And, we really enjoyed our time there in all seriousness. Well, we love you too, Kelly.
Absolutely.
Before we wrap this up, again, just for you guys to importantly, so that you subscribe to the channel, you follow also Cody and Satori on YouTube, on Patreon. Rise of Paranormal is just getting their stride for the spring season. They've got quite a few locations lined up that they're going to be going to. Some of that may be part of Dead Air Full Spectrum. A lot of it will not, especially when it comes to residential cases. But stay tuned for what's upcoming for this incredible team. And Ken,
Thank
the
you,
way
Beth.
that you run the organization there, we all have high respects for everybody in your group. And I know that group is deep. We have more people that are still going to be joining you, some surprises along the way. So congratulations.
Well, we appreciate it, and I'll take that on behalf of everybody else, because we are lucky that we have a group of people that not only get along so well, but everybody pretty much has what they do down pat. There's not a lot to say to Julie. Jake and Jolene are coming along because they just observe, how we go about our business. And then we understand there's no wrong answers, right? That's kind of the most important thing. So the thing I get to do now is not boss around. It's just I'm a professional reminder, Julie, do you have that camera? But no, I don't.
It goes both ways, Ken, about the professional reminder.
But I can't tell you, from my perspective, how great that is. And like I say, we the bench runs pretty deep. We had a couple of people that couldn't make it, but we've got our own Fox Mulder. He's watching tonight. He's probably going down. We hope you get to meet David, and Steve couldn't make it on this one. So good group. Good group.
We love them all. We love you all, guys.
Yes, we appreciate it so much. Jake, Jolene, the rest of you guys, just hang in there for just a second. Jake, Jolene, I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
But that does it for our show tonight, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure to share the link out there, get people involved, and we will see you again next time. And for those of you that are Patreon members, we'll see you tomorrow night at Town Hall. Until then, my name is George Lopez, along with Ken DaCosta. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great night. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Later.
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats. Baby's bad, oh baby's hella bad. After her there ain't no coming back. Wanna take a run at that. I think she's feeling me, turn it up a few degrees. My imagination of her body gets the best of me. Oh gosh, she's such a tease,